Boobin! Today, I have a little new video for you. So, a while back, I made a video on Dragoonity Remus and an FDK you could do with it, and however, we finally are kind of seeing when the card's actually going to be released, which is in Ghost from the Past. We're finally getting this card after a very long time, along with its friends Legatus and Dragoonity Glow. Now, there is other Dragoonity cards that come along with them, but they all suck. These are, in my opinion, the only three cards that can realistically see some competitive play. Now, don't get your panties in a bunch. You can just play pure Dragoonity, or you could play Dragon Link. You can choose that for yourself. For myself, I'm gonna stick with the Dragon Link. However, I still do think that these Dragoonity cards are pretty good in Dragon Link, and I'll show you some combos that I came up with. Probably, I'm not the first person to make them, but I digress. Here's some combos featuring Dragoonity Remus from the new set, Ghost from the Past. Hope you all enjoy. For the first combo here, we're just going to be going with Dragoonity Remus and 2 copies of any discard. It doesn't have to be Ash Blossom and Joy Springs, but just any discard is fine. We're going to be starting off by using the effect of our Dragoonity Remus to add a Dragon Ravine from our deck to our hand, because that's what the card does. Weird. Next, we're going to be using the Dragon Ravine from our hand, discarding the Ash Blossom Joy Springs that we have in our hand. It can just be anything, to be honest. Next, we're going to be adding Dragoonity Legatus from deck to hand. I don't know how to actually pronounce this card. Legatus, I have no idea. Its effect is if you control a Dragoonity monster, we don't have one, or Dragon Ravine, you can special summon from your hand. Pretty poggers. It also has a second effect where if you have a Dragoon in your spawn trap card zone, you can pop a spell or trap. That's honestly not even a bad effect, to be honest. That gives you some main deck back removal, which is pretty nice, to be honest. Next, we're going to be using the effect of Dragoonity Remus in the graveyard, which is if you have a Dragoonity in the graveyard, you can special summon it from the graveyard. But then you're locked into dragons for the rest of the turn. Oh no! We're locked into dragons in our deck that only has dragon monsters in the extra deck. Moving along, we're going to be synchroing for 6 into Dragoonity Knight Guide Yarg, because this is one of the most broken level 6 synchros ever created. But it just took a while for us to get anything that could actually abuse it. We're going to be using the effect of Guide Yarg to add a copy of Zephyros the Elite from our deck to our hand, and then we're going to be immediately discarding it, so we're basically just dumping it from deck to grave. Keep in mind that this card was made 10 years ago, so it doesn't have once per turn written on anywhere on text, apart from the first 3 words, but we don't worry about those ones. They're not hard once per turn, so it might as well not be there. Next, we're going to be using the effect of our Zephyros the Elite in our graveyard to add back the Dragon Ravine to our hand, burning our souls for 400 damage. Of course, we're going to be linking both into Dragoonity Knight Rhymus, which is going to able to add a Dragon Ravine. Just kidding, and add Dragoonity spells and traps as well. We're going to be adding Dragoonity Glow from deck to hand, which, if you didn't know, it lets you add any level 5 or higher Dragoonity monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and also has a really busted other effect, which will synergize with our Militant later on. We're going to be special summoning our Militant by sending our Romulus to the graveyard, and I'm going to be using the effect of Militant to attach Guide Yarg. Why are we attaching Guide Yarg? Well, Dragoonity Glow has this graveyard effect where you can banish it from the graveyard to special summon one of your Dragoonities that is equipped to a Dragoonity you control in defense mode. So you can't bring back Romulus, but you know, can bring back Guide Yarg. Now, I had to read this card a couple times. I needed to check if it negated the effects or anything, and it didn't. So we're going to be moving along. Next, we're going to be using the effect of our Glow that I mentioned earlier to bring back our Guide Yarg. Our Guide Yarg's then going to be grabbing a copy of Mist Valley Baby Rock with 1 C. It's just no K, just Rook. Rook. And this effect is if it's sent directly from your hand to the graveyard. I don't know why it says directly from your hand to the graveyard. Weird. And you can just special summon it. But the problem with this card is that it does miss timing, so if you discard it for something like Dragon Ravine, it does miss timing, unfortunately, because the last thing to happen isn't this card being sent to the hand to the graveyard. But it's fine, because Guide Yarg specifically just says, then discard. So that means the last thing to happen is just being sent to the graveyard. Next, we're going to be overlaying our 2 level 6s into Boomer LP. We're going to be using the effect of Boomer LP, detaching the Guide Yarg to summon Red MD from our deck. And we're going to be using the effect of Red MD to bring back Guide Yarg. Count the amount of times we've used Guide Yarg this turn, by the way. You got a cookie at the end, if you can guess how many. Next, we're going to be using the effect of our Guide Yarg for the 9,000th time to send a Starly Safer from Red to our graveyard, essentially. Then we're going to be linking, sorry, not linking, might as well be linking. We're going to be making Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon with our Baby Rock and our Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, or in our Guide Yarg. Next, we're going to be linking our 2 monsters into Hrax Seal of 70 Spheres. Next, we're going to be using the effect of our Dragon Ravine, again, to send Absoluter to a grab Tracer. We're going to be normal summoning Tracer, because guess what? We didn't normal summon this entire time. We made Crystal Wing and Hrax Seal without using our normal summon. That's cool. Next, we're going to be normal summoning the Record Tracer, destroying our Dragon Ravine to summon Rocket Recharger from our deck. We're going to be linking the Tracer into LP, Recharger turns into Striker Dragon. We're going to be using the LP to summon a Chamber from the deck. Do note, I forgot to add Boot Sector here. You don't really need it though, apparently. We're going to be summoning a Chamber from our deck, which is going to grab us Hiding. We're going to use the Striker Dragon to grab back Recharger. We're going to be using Recharger to bring back the Tracer whenever I decide to. And then we're going to be syncering both into Borrowed Savage Dragon. This combo did not need Pisty, by the way. So that's cool. Now, because we're going to be equipping the Romulus and then bang. So with Remus and 2 discards, we have Savage, Seal, Tiding, and a Crystal Wing. Cool. And how many bricks did it take? Let's not talk about it. Let's go into the second replay, which is a bit of a cooler one that could maybe actually be used in competitive play. So here's our second combo, which is just going to be involving the same stuff as usual, but we're going to be throwing an extender in there, which is an actually good normal summon, which is Starly Seyfried, or Chaos Space and a Dark Monster, or World Legacy Guard Dragon, because that's 18 extenders and 1 card for every reason. Anyway, we're going to be starting off with Remus, getting the Ravine, we're going to be discarding, we're going to be Legatus, blah, 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 blah. You've already seen this part before, and you're also going to see this part again. However, instead of dropping a Zephyros, we're actually going to be grabbing Baby Rock. We're going to be grabbing Baby Rock so we can go into Crystal Wing as our 5th summon. This means we're going to be Impervious to Nibiru and for 1 hand trap for the rest of the turn, which is pretty sick if you ask me. This also means we have to use our normal summon. We can now normal summon our Starly Seyfried, summoning a Black Dragon Clap Serpent from our deck. We're going to be linking that into a Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon is going to grab us a Boot Sector launch from deck to hand. Our Black Dragon is going to add White Dragon Wire Buster from our deck to our hand also. We're going to be banishing the Black Dragon to summon a White Dragon from our hand. We're going to be linking both into Dragoon Knight Romulus. Romulus is going to be grabbing us Glow. Glow is going to get us a Mistleton, and then we're going to be sending the Romulus. You've seen this part already. We're going to be doing the little trick where you equip the Guide Yarg, and then you summon it, and then you use the Guide Yarg. But this time we're going to be sending a Tracer from deck to grave. Tracer is going to be used because, you'll see. We're going to be making Boomer LP once more, and we're going to be using Boomer LP to summon Redemedy from our deck, and then Redemedy is going to bring back the Tracer in our graveyard, so then we can make a Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, and we're going to be using the Tracer to pop the Dragon Ravine, and then we're going to be summoning a Recharger, and then we're going to be doing the LP Pisty thingy. You know how it goes from here. LP summons Chamber, Chamber gets Tidying, Striker Dragon gets Recharger, It's the same thing as last time, but the 5th summon is Crystal Wing, which is pretty pog if you ask me. I don't know why the hand resets here, but it does. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed those few little comments. Let me know what you guys think about the Dragoon cards from Ghosts in the Past. Are you hyped about them? Are you not hyped about them? Is Ghosts in the Past a good set? Is it a bad set? Let me know in the comments below. I personally don't think it's the worst set on the planet. For myself in particular, I'm not too interested in it set apart from the Dragoon cards, because those cards are pretty sick if you ask me. Let me know what y'all think, what I should maybe cover in the next video. Maybe we try Break Holy Knight in the next video. I don't even know what their TCG name is. Anyway, like, share, comment, subscribe, and if you've made it this far in the video, comment yup cock. Or Guide the Artifact, whichever one you prefer today. 07 troops.